Hello, and thank you for tuning in. If you like scary movies, trailers, and reviews, or you're like us and you like making predictions about what's going to happen at the end of a horror movie, then subscribe to the Gutted Horror Podcast.
It would really mean a lot to us if you took a second to scroll down, hit that subscribe button, follow us across social media so you don't miss us spill our guts about horror films.
How do you gut someone?
Always trust my gut.
Hello, and welcome to Gutted. I'm Elise.
And I'm Tony, and we're here to spill our guts about horror films.
And today we have a very special guest. We have the fantastically creepy and captivating Rebekah Kennedy from 2021's Two Witches and this year's Traumatica, directed by Pierre Sigarides and also co-written by Maxime Rancon.
Don't make a sound. If I can hear you or see you, then the monster will come and get you.
You look nervous.
What have I done? I'm so sorry I brought it here. Brought what? The child's in the house. The child is...
Thank you for coming, Rebekah. Thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me. Thank you for the kind words. I really appreciate it.
Oh, absolutely.
Yes, we've had the chance to actually see an early screening of Traumatica, and let me tell you, that was super awesome. We loved it. The screening was at Vidiot's in Los Angeles. And what can I say? Like, this is a really creepy movie. Some great scares.
Very unsettling, well acted. And just a little tidbit. We rewatched it last night and afterward we both fell asleep on the couch and we both woke up.
This always happens when we watch movies in our living room. We always fall asleep on the couch.
The thing is, we both woke up because we were having nightmares.
Yeah.
It was like seeping into our nightmares. And we're like, oh my God, we have to wake up and go to bed.
Yeah, I think just the film's sense of dread, it really grips you.
It's very impactful.
And we want to talk all about it, but we also don't want to spoil too much of the movie because it has not been released yet. So we were thinking about just doing a little bit of an IMDb synopsis, and then we'll just get into some questions.
Yeah.
Sounds good. Sounds good.
So on IMDb, it says that Mikey's night terrors become reality when his mother begins showing signs of demonic possession. What he's about to experience will haunt him for the rest of his life. And that's short and sweet, but we don't want to give away too much.
I like your reading of it. It was very like ominous and, worked out great.
I tried to get the feeling of the film.
And yeah, just once again, congratulations on this film. It was a fantastic film. I think we wanted to start with just a little bit of talking about just horror movies in general.
Yeah.
Rebekah, are you a fan of horror movies?
I am. I started at a young age. I watched the very first horror movie I watched was the It miniseries when I was 11. And that was my first kind of memory of really watching something. It was at a friend's birthday party. She was turning 11 and I, was back in the Blockbuster days. And for whatever reason, I don't know why her parents let us rent it, but they did. And I scarred my friend for life. I feel so badly for her. But what's ironic is now she's got 2 kids and her oldest is in her freshman year of high school and loves horror. So I'm like, yeah, see, that's what you get. Now she's going to take her daughter to see the movie this weekend. And she's like, I will probably watch it with behind my, fingers. But
oh, yeah,
that's the best way to watch it.
I also just have so many childhood memories of watching horror movies behind my eyes or like with a pillow in front of my face. And it also scared me when I was a kid. I think I was afraid to use the bathroom after that shower scene. And there's the scene of like the blood spitting up out of the sink. Like those really traumatized me.
Yeah. And, it's funny because for whatever reason, like I just loved it. And so when I went home the next day, I asked my mom if we could rent something at Blockbuster, and she was like, okay. And she's like, I knew that when we were there, you like had something specific you wanted. It wasn't like, like just let her rent a movie. And they were like, let me rent it again, because they hadn't seen it. And, looking back, she's like, why did we do that? But, I wanted to watch it again. And like, what did I miss? And, all the girls were like screaming and talking, and, so that was it. And then I've loved horror ever since. I watch pretty much anything, good or bad. And also now that being, an actor in them, it's so fascinating to see how they do things, how they pull off, especially practically, how they pull off things. So yeah, so I'm a huge horror fan. I never imagined being in horror films. It wasn't like something I set out to do. Like, I'm going to do horror, but when you're an actor and you're first starting out, you audition, as anything that you get, whatever your agent manager gets you. And the first couple of things I booked were more in the horror genre, house hunting. I did Season of the Witch with Nicolas Cage. I did a film called Creature, and it just kind of, snowballed. And then, when you do some, then people see you as that, and they start, wanting you to do theirs. So that's kind of how I got into horror. But I'm excited and thrilled to be doing it. And I feel like no matter where my career goes, I will always, probably come back to doing these movies.
Yeah, that's fantastic. And, so many actors have gotten their start in horror. And we, as horror fans, we are very happy to have you in the horror community and all of the different projects that you have done. But going back to Traumatica, so we are curious about how this shoot went. Could you tell us a little bit about just the shoot? Like, how long was the shoot, or where did you guys film? All of that sort of stuff.
Yeah, so it was about 15 days or so. We shot in, my stuff was mostly in Sun Valley. The house that you see in the main house in the film is a house that almost burned down quite a few years ago, and now they use it as a set. So the walls are black. It's very creepy. We were shooting some at night, so it's like just, already kind of that vibe. But when you walk in, it already kind of elicits the tone of the film. So you're not having to like pretend that it's a creepy house. It kind of already is. And then, they just like set designed it. But, they already had that kind of that heavy feeling. And some of the stuff we did, like, some shoots were during the day. And so we did day for night, where they, black out the curtains and like make it look like it's night. And, it's still like you walked into the house and it just like immediately just felt different, which was great as an actor, because then you're, not having to pretend. You're kind of more immersed in the world. Yeah, so the shoot was great. Like you said, I worked with these guys before on Two Witches, and so I knew going in how they were going to kind of work, which helped. They're very efficient, very fast. In the best way, but also on the flip side, always give me the time that I need to prepare and to feel like I'm going to hopefully do my best performance, and I don't feel rushed. If they're stressed, they never lead on. They never let me know that so the shoot always feels very smooth. And we also get to like, because it's an indie film, you're not getting a lot of rehearsal time. You don't have weeks or months to rehearse these scenes. A lot of them we're doing on the day. You're rehearsing for the camera, figuring out, making sure it's safe and everyone's comfortable, and then you're just going for it. And there's kind of that spontaneity that comes from that. It's scary, but it's thrilling. And being an actor for a while now, it's a lot of trust to kind of find it as you're filming, which leads to finding a lot of magical moments that maybe wouldn't have been found otherwise, because it's not as has to go a certain way, if that makes sense.
Yeah, totally.
Like and he's a great guide to like what works and what doesn't, and what is scary. And of course there's technical things that have to be done to make the scare work, but then there's a lot of freedom in it too. So overall, it's a really safe, supportive, encouraging environment, and I love working with them.
That is awesome to hear. I want to just quickly point out that first scene in that house. I was looking at just what it looked like, and I was like, this is really scary. I was just like, they had to have found a location that was already super creepy.
Yeah.
I think it really set the mood and set the tone for, especially in that that big opening scene.
Definitely set the mood. And going back to what you were saying about with these indie horrors or indie films, you have less time to prepare or less time to rehearse. But on your own, I wanted to get some insight as to how you prepared for your own characters. Your character has quite an arc, quite a trajectory. And the first time that we see your character, she's already gone through so much. And so is there anything that you did to prepare for the vocal qualities or the movement aspect of your character?
Yeah, so that's a great question. That was definitely one of the things that drew me to the script. I mean, I would have probably worked with them regardless because I love these guys. But one thing that really made me excited to play her was, like you said, that she has such a great arc. When you meet her, she's in the worst place of her life. She's seen being, very much the villain of the movie. And then you kind of find out why she is the way she is. And that is what interested me in finding her, was that she's not just all one thing. Like people, we aren't just all one thing. And so to prepare, I have to, connect to her in some way. I can't relate to her circumstance, but so I look at what I can relate to. And I feel like Abigail is somebody that is lost and feels alone and feels like no one understands her and no one could possibly understand the situation. Feels very unseen by everyone. It's a very lonely life that she's living even before she goes through everything. You kind of get a glimpse of it. And I feel like a lot of us can relate to that. I definitely can in my life at some point, feeling, alone and kind of lost and like trying to find my way, and that, who else is going to understand where I'm at, and feeling very unseen. So I tap into that first, because then I can connect to her in an emotional way, in a real way. And then the situation kind of is on top because it's such a fantastical, crazy situation that, I really never going to be possessed by something in this life. But so it's like, it's hard to explain. It feels very, out of touch with reality. So then I have to ground her in some way. And then there also is the aspect of what she's going through. People have gone through, with what happens with her dad, what happens with her pregnancy. There are people that are going to watch that are going to relate to that. So I also keep that in mind and want to do that justice and want to be respectful to the material and to anyone that might be watching that could connect to that or understand what she's going through. And that really helps me be able to, like I said, ground myself in the reality of what's actually happening. And then Pierre, over the course of before we started filming and like even while we were filming, would send me TikToks of movement, of dances, of things that he was like, this would be fun to incorporate. Like, let me know if you can do it. So then I would like rehearse at home or like, okay, like watch it and then be like, okay, this is the mood or the tone, or he wants this movement, this physicality here. Like they're running on all fours. I wasn't 100% sure if I was going to be able to do it.
You solved it very well. Fantastic job there. Yes. We love a crab walk.
Thank you so much. Yeah, we did that in 2 takes. I was just like, sometimes there's things in movies where you just have to go for it. And you're like, there isn't any like, oh, let me see if this, you just kind of have to throw yourself in. And that was one of those moments where I was like, I kind of tried to rehearse at home as best I could. And then it was like, I'm just call action and I'll just do it.
Right.
This role was incredibly physical and also with some the name trauma is in the title, Traumatica, and some very dark and heavy themes. So it's interesting to hear your take on that and how you prepare for that. And also like kind of keeping it light on set with TikTok videos and stuff. Because it is a pretty heavy film for sure. It's
very heavy. And kind of going back to the physicality of like the incorporating dance movements, I had a chance to speak with you at the screening, how I loved a certain scene that Abigail had where she did this little dance and it seemed so unexpected and odd, and it just worked in making it more creepy. And if you could explain or describe the inspiration behind that little dance in the basement.
Yeah, Pierre, one thing I love working with him, he's such a genius. He loves, for him, what's scary to him is, like you said, the unexpected, the odd and the unusual, and something that you would never expect to happen. And even if it's not like a scare, but it's a weird, you're like, what is happening? Which I think is like, for me, is the best when I'm watching a movie, because you're like, this is crazy. Like, I would not expect this. And so he sent me, he sent me some TikToks, and then we talked on set, and he was like, I want to dance here. And so we tried like some different things, and that was the one that made the movie, is the one that won the day. And that one was the one that made the most sense, because then it's like, if you were in that situation as the cop, it would be disarming, right? You would be like, what? And then you attack, so you disarm somebody first by confusing them. And then it's like open to like, then be able to come in for the kill, so to speak. Because, I'm a small woman opposite a grown man who is like, not small. So, it's like, as my character, it's like, what could I do that would like, freak him out first before I come in. So that's where kind of that came from. And it's such a, I hope it becomes some kind of GIF or meme or something. Like,
I will. And honestly, if anyone danced at me, I would be like kind of freaked out if they're just looking straight at me and then just start dancing a little bit.
Very effective.
In a basement. No less.
In a basement. Yeah. In a creepy basement of a burned down house. Yes.
Yeah. Very effective. And quick shout out to Two Witches and the Unexpected. You have such a knack for doing and pulling off these unexpected movements or even facial movements. There's a scene where you eat an apple and you're just eating an apple. And I don't know if you remember.
Yes. Oh, yes.
Yes. I'm like, oh my God, the way that you eat an apple is very unsettling. So good job getting those unexpected facial movements and body movements. And I want to ask if there's anything that inspires you in the horror genre or films or otherwise, any performances that inspire you when you're trying to embody these characters? Yeah.
So, I mean, for Two Witches specifically, it was very, Carrie is what kind of inspired me. I mean, I could never like be Sissy Spacek. I mean, she's so amazing in the first movie. And, but that was definitely like my inspiration for that character in general was her. She was the outcast, and as much as Masha was as well, and just wanted a better life for herself. And even though she, Masha goes about it in the worst way possible, in her mind, nobody's the villain of their own story. They're always the hero. So for that, it was like, I'm doing what is necessary to survive. But I loved Sissy Spacek's performance so much, and I would never, try to like copy it. But that definitely was like an inspiration of, as far as somebody that, is kind of ostracized by society. And if you, got these powers, what would you do with them when you're pushed to like the, breaking point? As far as Abigail goes, I mean, of course, there's inspirations from The Exorcist, for The Exorcism of Emily Rose. Tried not to like copy anybody's performance, because they're all, they're amazing performances. So it's like, I don't want to touch Linda Blair, but, just thinking about like, how would that affect your body in a different way? We didn't want to do the same thing that other people are doing again, because we've seen it and they've already done it better. So I'm like, I don't want to try to do what they're doing, because I can't do it better, but I can hopefully maybe put my own spin on it, my own take, and like what that would, which was kind of inspired by like the boils on her face, the sores, the blisters. It's like, if you were being eaten from the inside out, what would that look like? And that's kind of where that was inspired by, because trauma lives in the body, and it's something that's, we can't necessarily see on somebody. You don't know what somebody else is going through by just looking at them. So it was like, what if you could? What if it came out? And so that's kind of her look of the film. And yeah, so those were kind of things that I look at. I mean, Tom Hanks says you're dope if you don't steal from everyone you know. It's like there's always going to be some inspiration, and then you put your own spin on it, and how that would affect your body, and like where trauma like lives is really interesting to me, because it, as an actor, when we're looking at trauma and like characters that have been through it, sometimes we get in our heads, but it doesn't live there. It lives, from the neck down. It lives here. So like,
Yeah.
how would that affect how you move and how you hold yourself and how you walk? And, so it's fascinating to me.
Yeah, totally. And yeah, just once again, great job on that. I do think that your character is very uniquely a different thing, something that we haven't seen, but a little bit of we could still see that influence of other past horror movies. So great job on that, definitely.
Thank you so much.
And then last question from me before we move on to the game, if you have any others, but were there any elements of costuming or prosthetics that really helped you feel the character more once it was applied or put on?
Yeah, I mean, definitely the makeup. I mean, that's a shout out to our makeup artist, KO, who also did Two Witches. She did all the burns in the last scene of that movie. And she's just incredible. And she's so precise, and each blister, I call them boils, whatever you want to call them, are applied individually. It's not like a mask that goes on. So she has to match every day what she did the prior day. And it's so much work and like precision, and just like, oh my God, it would drive me nuts because I would never be able to like do all that. So she is such an amazing artist, and to come up with that and to make it look so great in the movie. And I feel like it's, so when because it's an indie, we don't have a lot of time to like, oh, let's practice and see what it looks like. And so you're, on the day, you're like, well, let's hope it works, So, she's applying it all, and I couldn't see what was happening. And then she finished, and I looked in the mirror, and I was like, oh, okay. Like, that is amazing, because I feel like it gives her such a unique look, and you like I hope, you can't forget her, because she has such a presence in like how she looks. And, it's very chilling and kind of like heartbreaking in some moments as well. Like just her the look of how she looks. And that helps so much, because the first day you're trying to figure out how to manipulate your face so that because of the prosthetics, that sometimes can, you have to work a little harder to push through sometimes, because you think you're doing something and then like it's not reading because it's hidden underneath. So you can't like just rely on like, oh, I'll just like sort of move this, and because it's like you can't see it because it's hidden behind. So then it's like, okay, so then I'm like in the mirror, like figuring out, and also with Pierre, he's a great guide of like what is it reading? Can you see? Also not too much. That was, going back to Two Witches, what you were saying with the apple is he's great at like letting me go and play and like go as far as we can. And then also like, okay, let's rein it in, or it's too much, or so that I'm always like balancing the line of like, I don't want it to be too over the top, but then want it to be fun and like where you remember, because it's like you could just eat an apple and that would be like whatever. Like you just like why show it? If you're not going to do something that's like, it's like for me, for the apple, it was like if I could eat her, that was me. That was like that's the only thing I could do, because I couldn't attack her. So it was like she was so frustrating and like just wanted to like, yeah. So that's how that came out, and all that helps. All the makeup helps. Of course, the costuming, just the look of her, when you look in the mirror, you're like reminded of the situation she's in, which is just, you try to, as an actor, you try to just use everything you can to like influence the character.
I did have one last question before we got to the game. Just like speaking of being on set in an indie film and all that stuff, I know, so Elise and I have both been on indie sets. We are both have been in the industry a little bit, but there's always like some sort of great or funny moment that happens. You kind of feel like a little family when you're filming these overnights. I just wanted to know, were there any favorite moments or like funny things that happened during filming, especially for like such a movie that has really heavy
So
themes?
intense.
Sometimes like that actually does bring out these little kind of like funny moments while you're making the movie. Was there anything like that in Traumatica?
Yeah, there wasn't a lot because like you said, because of what we're filming. And so it doesn't elicit like a lot of laughter. But, there was one scene. So the foot sucking scene.
Oh, yeah.
I just want to shout out to Sean. It's not my foot. So like, just want to be clear. Poor Sean. There was a moment so when they first brought the foot in, it was like, did not look good. It did not look like a real foot. It was too pink. And we were trying to they were trying to put makeup on it and like just try to make it look better. And there was a brief moment where I was like, are we going to have to use my foot? Like, and I was like, I don't care because it's
my
not
foot's
me.
ready to go. Let's go.
Yeah, I was like, I feel bad for Sean. He's the one that happened to put it in his mouth. So like, and thankfully we made it work and we didn't have to do that. But so I'm in the scene. I'm like there for him to give reactions. And then there was one take. So it's like, Pierre's on the bed with the camera and like Max was there, as well. And like, I'm there giving him the like to react off. And then there was one take Pierre needed like no reaction from me and just Sean. So that, for like sound and for to be able to cut and whatever. And so I just stayed there because it was like, we were, it was like the last shot of the day. And Sean, man, he just went for it. And he's all through the wall, like going for it. And Max has a great video. I'm sure they'll release it where he's like recording Sean and then he goes up to our faces and we just have the biggest grins and we're laughing. So like we're trying not to laugh because like we don't want to mess him up, but we just have like the biggest grins on our faces because he just like went for it. And it was so like awesome to watch because some actors might just not be able to like, or want to do that. It takes a lot of like vulnerability. You think like, oh, it's not, it takes a lot of vulnerability and like commitment and just like throwing caution to the wind to like just go for something like that. We can say lines all day, but to like when you put actors in situations where it's like absurd and like they have to commit or it doesn't work. And like he was so lovely and he hasn't done a lot of horror. The Veil was like his first horror in this, so I commend him, he comes from a comedy background. So like he just went for it and it was really funny and really fun to watch.
He totally went for it. And I appreciate that story and that he that he totally went for it. He was also extremely creepy in this film.
Yeah.
So his if this was maybe not like really in his genre, maybe he's found his calling because that was incredibly creepy role.
It was fantastic. And so it's a fake foot. Okay.
Yes.
Movie magic. Amazing. Okay.
Yeah, it was like similarly like to I just wanted to like put this out there too because I've had questions about this and I don't want anyone out there to think that we traumatized this child in the movie, that like he never saw me in the makeup.
Okay. Yeah, we actually had that same question.
Yes.
Yeah.
I forgot to ask.
Because I feel like people are going to be like, why did you like what this poor kid? And it's like, no, he has no idea. I don't even know if he knew we were filming a horror movie. He came to the premiere, but like he left. He didn't watch the film, obviously, because he's like 8. He was like 6 when we filmed, and he is great and like but he never saw me in anything. So he only saw me, as Rebekah. And so anything I was filming with him, he wasn't there. So it was just me and Pierre.
Oh, wow. Okay.
I always wonder about that because you'd watch some of the most whenever you watch a really extreme horror movie, there's always a little kid in it and you're just like, okay, what is this kid going through in the shoot here?
Yeah. But now that you mention it, I do think it's like the craftiness of the cinematography and the POV of the camera. Like we're really just getting his POV. We're seeing him brief glimpses, but we're not actually seeing what he's going through. We're seeing it through his eyes. And I think that's a really clever way to not have to actually traumatize this poor boy, this poor young actor.
Yeah. And speaking of the POV, I actually thought that was another really brilliant thing about this film is kind of going back and forth between almost like a found footage POV in some of the scenes and then going back to, the different characters. So like in the scenes with the little boy, the camera looks like you are the POV of the little boy, which was really cool.
Yeah. So. Yeah, shout out to, Pierre and Max. And I know that was really difficult to film as far as like he said, like just being at the child's level, just bending down, being able to like film all that. And it was cool also as an actor because then like the sequence in the closet when it's just the camera and me, it was like all, we got to do like one take, and then I just got to walk back and forth and just do like whatever I kind of wanted to do. And so it was it was a cool like experience as an actor to be able to just kind of find things as you're going, because you're not like working with the kids. You're not like having to try to scare him or like shield him or like worry about a kid because he's not there.
Yeah.
So it's like I can just like do whatever I want to do.
Okay. Since you mentioned that, I do want to ask one more thing.
Yeah,
and
of course.
You don't have to answer. But there is a scene in that opening where you're walking back and forth and your character does squat down and goes to the bathroom.
Yes.
Was that fake? Or was that a method acting moment?
I would love to be like, that was a method. No. Actually, I don't know if I guess I'm allowed to say, I don't know. It was added after.
Oh, okay. Interesting. Because it got such a reaction in the audience, like the audience cheered. And I was like, wait a minute. Do they know something I don't? Was that real?
Yeah. I love that moment because it is such a like, tells you everything you need to know about her in that moment, that she is just so far gone and in such despair, and like the lowest, I mean, it's to say lowest moment of her life is like, just feels like not even accurate. I mean, it's just like, you can't get any worse in that moment. Like you understand like, oh, this is where she's at.
Yeah. And it's really cool too, in that scene too, the dialogue that Abigail has, and she's kind of going back and forth between like, oh, I'm just joking, to like, I'm so sorry. And she's going through all of these different range of emotions.
Like the animalistic moment of urinating on the ground back to, it was just a little jokey joke.
Yeah. And then growling and then throwing out threats to the little boy and Mikey, by the way, which I was wondering if that was a little nod to little Michael Myers, especially with the POV. Yeah. So maybe.
Yeah, maybe. But yeah, maybe we won't say too much because I don't want to give away anything. Thank you.
Yeah, you're the first one to ask that. So I love that you asked that question. Because, it's such a it's such a visceral moment in the movie, and I love that it's there, because I'm like, now you know everything, without having to do a huge monologue about my life. Because sometimes horror, that's one of my pet peeves. We tell, and it's like, you show, don't tell. Right. Like, I don't need a long exposition of everything that's happened. And like, if you can put it in a moment like that, you get it. You get it immediately.
Yeah, totally. So much more. And just having that theater experience too at Vidiot's just shows how much this movie lends itself to being a movie that should be seen in the theater. Should be seen. Elise and I are big fans of viewing movies in an actual movie theater. We love going to AMC. We always talk about on our show how we're like A-list members, and we just go see everything that we possibly can. But seeing, just reacting to a scene like that in the movie theater is really what it's all about. And I think if an audience goes and sees Traumatica in the theaters, which they really should, then I think that'll have a big reaction in the theater as well when people are watching it.
September 12th, right? Is that the date?
Yeah.
Okay.
September 12th. Just to add a little tidbit really quick, I've seen it 3 times with an audience, and you're right, because the first time I saw it in London at Fright Fest it was like the world premiere, and I won't give away the scene, but the scene with the knife, you know what I'm talking about. Mm-hmm. After that scene, a guy literally yelled like Jesus, like really loud, which was really fun. We had a public screening like before the premiere where they just invited like the public to watch, and then they recorded reactions and whatnot, and the people in front of us were audibly reacting to the booger moment, like loudly, like just like, oh God, like, and it's so fun to see people because like you said, it's meant to be a shared experience. I mean, horror in general should be. I mean, most movies should be, really, but obviously some movies we can't because they don't come to the theater anymore. But if you can, it's such a collective shared experience that you get that adrenaline. Everybody's jumping, everybody's laughing, everybody's screaming, or people are audibly reacting, and you don't get that at home when it's just by yourself. So
totally, Those are
totally
all the
agree.
reasons why we go to the theater and why we love going to the theater.
Yeah. And the earlier the better, because then you get the biggest crowd. It's so much fun.
Yes. So September 12th, go see it, if you can, or Saturday.
Definitely go see it. This is one that you should not miss in the theater. We wanted to play a little game with you. Yes. So we love playing games. We love playing horror games, talking about horror movies.
We love lists. We love top 10 lists.
Yeah, we are millennials, so we love top 10 lists.
That is my worst fear. It's like when they're like, name me this. I'm like, I don't know. I've never seen a movie in my life.
Okay. So we'll explain the game to you really quickly. It'll be a very easy game to play. Very
easy. So it's our Desert Island possession film game. So we do play Desert Island style games on other episodes. On one of our previous episodes, we did like a Desert Island vampire movie game where it's like we brought our top 10 or like top 5 vampire movies that we would take with us on a desert island if we had nothing but a DVD or Blu-ray player and some movies.
Yeah. And a solar power generator, all the things you need to play a movie on an island.
Yeah. So we'll keep this one short. We'll just have 5 rounds. So we'll have you go first, and then I'll go, and then you'll go again, and then Tony will go, and then you'll have the last one.
And what we're going to do is we have this witchy bucket here, and we have written down the names of 13 different horror films, and we will select 2 at random, and we're going to do a showdown style where we just choose which one you're taking with us to the island. There doesn't have to be any reason for it, really. And in this game, when we play, there are often movies that we haven't seen. I know Elisa's seen a lot more horror movies than I've seen. So sometimes my choice is easy because I haven't seen the movie.
Yeah.
And this you can like take with us to watch, correct?
Yes. And have for the rest of your days on this desert island. So it doesn't have to be like the one that's the most critically acclaimed. It's just the one that you want to watch over and over again.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So we have some movies in this bucket, and
you want to pick the first 2?
Are we ready to play?
I'm ready.
All right.
This isn't like making me like pick things out of the air. So
no. So we're going to give you 2 movies, and then you just have to choose which one you would like to take with you to our desert island,
and which one goes back into the ocean with the sharks.
and like just a disclaimer, just because I can only pick one, so it doesn't mean I didn't like the other one.
Exactly. Yeah, no, and that totally happens in this, where you will get like I don't know. Halloween 1978, like Elisa's favorite movie, and then it's like Dawn of the Dead 1978, my favorite movie. It's like, how do you decide? So sometimes it's really brutal, and you just have to just go with it. But we'll see how it goes. There's no wrong answers here. No wrong answers.
They're all good movies.
Yeah, these are all great movies. These are all great horror movies. Rebekah, you get to go first, and you have 2 choices here. You have the remake of Evil Dead from 2013. And the movie Talk to Me from 2022.
I'm going to take Talk to Me.
Talk to Me. Great choice. Yes, that was actually our top movie of 2022. We absolutely loved it.
I did like the remake of The Evil Dead. But as far as like originality and like something I hadn't seen, Talk to Me would
love Talk to Me. Yeah, great spin on the possession genre. I love that you have the sort of like cursed hand, and it's sort of like a teenage party kind of element to it.
So many fun montage moments too. Oh, so good. I agree with that choice.
And this year's Bring Her Back from the Philippou Brothers. I don't know if you've seen it yet, but that is also a fantastic movie. Yeah.
I walked out feeling very depressed. But it was good.
These are good feelings to walk out of a horror movie, feeling just having these like really strong feelings.
Just go walk into traffic. Thank you.
All despondent.
All right. So am I going next or are you going next?
How about you go next?
Okay.
All right.
So we're just going to get 1 round each. You're going to end up getting 3 rounds.
All right, Tony, you're choosing between The Exorcist 3 or When Evil Lurks.
Ooh, okay. That is a very tough choice as well, because I really love The Exorcist 3. It has one of the best jump scares in all of horror cinema. And actually,
Brad Dourif is amazing.
there was a jump scare in Traumatica that kind of got me in that same way. I don't know if there was a little bit of influence from Exorcist 3,
Maybe.
but I won't reveal it, but there's some good jump scares in Traumatica.
After we stop recording, you have to tell me which one.
Okay.
I'm interested to know.
Okay, I think I am going to go with When Evil Lurks, because I also really appreciate that it took a different spin on the possession genre and treated it almost like a zombie outbreak kind of thing. And I love zombie movies. It's one of my favorite genres.
His thing.
Although Exorcist 3 is such a classic. I love Brad Dourif, like one of the best performances in a horror movie I think that I've ever seen.
Yeah, it was good. So, but you put it in the ocean. So,
well, it's just floating out there. It's out in the lifeboat.
Somebody will find it.
Yeah. So another island. It's going to float over there, and they're going to be like, "What is this?" And
maybe that can be your choice for your last round wild card lifeboat choice.
All right.
All right.
All right, Rebecca, you're up next.
All right, Rebecca.
Okay.
You are choosing between Evil Dead 2 from 1987 or The Exorcism of Emily Rose from 2005.
I think I'm going to go with Exorcism of Emily Rose.
Nice.
Very nice. Very nice. Great exorcism movie.
Yeah. I mean, I did enjoy the other one as well, but yeah.
Evil Dead 2, it's Tony's shirt. It's a classic,
I'm wearing the
but
t-shirt.
I will say The Exorcism of Emily Rose, it does have some really creepy moments with Laura Linney in her kitchen when the door's wide open. That's like my nightmare.
When anyone ever asks for like, what's a horror movie that is genuinely scary that's going to like really freak me out? Exorcism of Emily Rose is one of those movies.
It's
for
one
sure.
that I hesitate to watch by myself at night. There aren't many like that, but that's one of them.
All right. Awesome choice. Awesome. Exorcism of Emily Rose is coming to our island. I love that. So now
we have some good ones. We got some good
ones. Yeah. These are all great horror movies, by the way. Like there's no bad ones in here. Okay, Elise, you have the choice between from 2014, The Taking of Deborah Logan, which is a really great movie.
I do love that one.
And from 1988, Night of the Demons.
Ooh.
A wonderful Halloween demonic possession movie.
It's really good. Oh no. The Taking of Deborah Logan is probably one of my like mock doc found footage kind of movies. Oh, it's so good. Night of the Demons. Forever. I have to watch this forever on an island. Okay. I'm gonna go with The Taking of Deborah Logan.
Taking of Deborah Logan.
I like
all
it
right.
so much. Okay. And then last round for Rebecca.
All right.
Okay. We have, what's this here? Oh my gosh. Okay. The Exorcist from 1973 or a little film from 2021 called Two Witches.
Oh, okay. Hold on. That seems like a setup. What's going on here?
How is that? How did that happen?
Impossible.
Oh my gosh. I mean, I gotta pick The Exorcist, right? I mean, like, it seems like I can't pick my own movie.
You can pick your own movie here. I think,
could.
yeah.
You
and we
could.
actually have a copy of Two Witches behind us here.
Okay, there was an Arrow sale and we saw this and we're like, oh, we have to get Two Witches. And so we watched this last night and yeah, amazing. Yeah, the Apple.
Can I see that one? So yeah, I'm sorry, we set you up a little bit. We just wanted to use that as just a little extra plug.
It was only half set up. So I actually legit picked The Exorcist out of this bucket blindly.
Wow, what a choice.
That was blind. This one we had set aside.
But Two Witches, we talked about it a little bit, but absolutely fantastic. We just recently watched this because we picked up the Arrow release and the bonus features on this are amazing. Just listening to
really
Pierre and Max talk about the making of the movie and so much good stuff on this release. So people should definitely.
So actually, that's when we were watching all the bonus features, and that's when we ended up falling asleep on the couch, and then our dreams became nightmares, and like all these things, like having rewatched Traumatica and then watching Two Witches, and it was just like seeping into our head dreams.
I feel like having a dream of me eating this apple.
Two Witches is coming with us to our island. It
Well, thank
floated
you.
on
That's
shore.
great. That's very. You guys are so cute. Thank you so much.
Wait, there's two
All right.
witches.
Oh, it's right here because.
It's coming with us to the island.
All right. So we get Talk to Me, When Evil Lurks, The Exorcism of Emily Rose, Taking of Deborah Logan, The Exorcist, and Two Witches is Tony's lifeboat pick.
Yep.
Wow.
I have saved it from the ocean.
He saved
I
it from
swam
the
out
ocean.
and I found it floating out there on this wonderful Arrow release. And now it's with us on the island.
Okay. And just a few that we did not mention that were already in, that were still in the bucket, that Rebekah, you can choose for your lifeboat pick.
Okay.
We have Child's Play from 1988.
Mm-hmm.
We have, let's see, The Conjuring from 2013 and Late Night with the Devil from 2023.
Those are all good movies. I'm gonna have to go with Conjuring.
Conjuring is
all right.
coming with us.
Yeah.
Okay. And my lifeboat, I think I'm going to choose, let's see here. It's between Child's Play and Exorcist 3. Ooh. All right, I'm going to pick Child's Play.
All right. We have a possessed doll.
We have a possessed doll.
Although in The Conjuring, there is another possessed doll that
We have a
happens
couple
in there.
possessed dolls
Yeah.
in that universe.
All right. Awesome. We have our Desert Island Possession.
We have some pretty good. We have
list.
some pretty good movies.
This
Like
is
I
a
feel
good
like we'd be
island.
good for
Yeah.
like a while.
I think so,
like
too.
we just rotate through them and like it would keep us busy for a while.
The nice thing about doing these showdowns is we'll usually end up getting kind of a nice range of different types of movies. So we have
Time
everything from
periods.
doll possession to like outbreak possession. We have indie horror with Two Witches, which is awesome. And then we have the absolute classic, The Exorcist. So this is a solid list.
It is. And a range of timelines, too. We have 1973 all the way to 2023. Quite a time
So it's
span.
like we won't be bored. We will
No,
be good on.
it's going to be a party on this island for
We're
sure.
gonna have a lot of nightmares, but be okay.
Just don't fall asleep watching the special features. You'll have
Apparently, she was like, that was the scary moment for me. Was your explaining the movie?
Yeah, it was scary. I think it was the Melissa, the character of Melissa from Two Witches was explaining all like the creepy stuff that was happening. And then I started to like
Yeah.
fall asleep and like I think in my dreams I was like on the set of like all these things that were happening that were creepy. Anyway.
Not because of her explanation.
No,
we're
it
just
was just-
notorious for just falling asleep
No,
when we're
it's great. Well, that means it like, for me, it's like whether somebody likes a movie or doesn't like a movie, if they have strong feelings about it, whether it be for or against, it means you've made a movie.
Agreed.
Like the worst thing is to come out of a movie feeling neutral about it or being like, oh, it was good. Moving on. Like, what should we get for dinner? Like,
Yeah.
if you're passionately hate it or passionately love it, then like it's great.
Yeah. If it sticks with you into
Yeah.
the evening time and you're dreaming and sleeping, then wonderful.
Yeah, exactly.
All right. Well, Rebekah, thank you so much for playing the Possession Desert Island Showdown with us.
course.
That was fantastic.
And thank you for all the background tidbits and inspiration and stories of Traumatica and Two Witches. So much fun.
Yeah, Traumatica was super awesome. Once again, congratulations on the film.
Thank
We
you so much.
hope that it just has an awesome release, and we really think that people should go out and see this movie in the theaters.
September 12th, or it is coming to streaming on Prime Video, I believe I saw.
I have no
but
idea.
also Two Witches is available for streaming on AMC Plus and Prime Video, or you can buy the
And
Arrow
Shudder.
copy. Yeah. Oh, is it on Shudder?
It's on Shudder as well.
Oh, amazing. Okay,
I
yeah.
didn't know that.
So yes,
Yeah.
makes a great double feature. So once those are both streaming, if you
Yeah.
can't make it to the release of Traumatica,
Yeah, it's not
great
playing
double
around in
feature.
your city, but
Yeah.
it should be playing around most major cities. If they look it up and they don't have it yet, keep looking because more theaters are going to be released this week. And, it's only so many will do like pre-sales for, indie. So more will be opening up this week. And yeah, I'm excited for people to see it.
Awesome. We're also super excited. We are definitely going to go see it again in theaters.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
That's
As an
so
audience.
sweet.
With it, yeah, we have to look for those reactions to those certain scenes
Yeah.
that we were talking about, and we'll just be sitting there waiting,
gonna be, like,
just
staring at
looking at
people.
the audience, like not even watching the movie, just waiting for other people's reactions.
I know my family hasn't seen it yet. And so I'm hoping to be able to like they're in Dallas to be able to go back. But because I'm like, oh, my mom's gonna like, she's gonna jump and like scream and like all the things.
That's good. You can inflict some trauma on your parents. Awesome. Well, thank you so much for joining us today and chatting. It's been a blast.
Thank you for having me and talking about it and being so supportive. Like, it means so much.
Just once again, fantastic job as Abigail in Traumatica. And it's coming out on September 12th.
And that's about it. So thank you so much, everyone, for watching and or listening. This has been another episode of Got It.